A storm rages over Manhattan. The city is alive with electric energy, its skyline shimmering through sheets of rain like a crown forged from light and steel. On the top floor of a half-built skyscraper, a lone figure stands at the edge of an unfinished balcony. He grips the railing, his suit soaked but immaculate, as if he's been standing here for hours, or maybe days. Below him, chaos reigns. Construction cranes swing wildly against the wind, workers shout orders drowned out by thunderclaps, and somewhere in the distance, police sirens wail. The man looks out at the jagged horizon, not with fear but with hunger. His eyes are sharp, calculating, predatory. This isn't just real estate, this is power, empire, legacy, and it's slipping away. His name? It doesn't matter right now. What matters is what's happening inside his head. They said I couldn't do it, he mutters to himself, voice barely audible over the storm. They said no bank would touch me. Too risky, too audacious. But they don't understand. The bigger the risk, the greater the reward. He turns suddenly, pacing back toward the skeletal frame of the building's interior. His mind races faster than the lightning splitting the sky outside. Every step echoes off bare concrete walls, a symphony of ambition colliding with doubt. This moment wasn't supposed to happen. Not here. Not tonight. Just hours ago, he'd walked into a boardroom filled with bankers who looked more like undertakers than financiers. Their suits were pressed too tight, their smiles razor-thin. They had numbers on their side, cold, clinical spreadsheets that spelled doom for his dream. Without funding, this skyscraper would remain nothing more than blueprints collecting dust. But there was something else in that room. Something only he could see. Potential. Opportunity. A chance to rewrite the rules. Cut. Flashback. The boardroom. The air is suffocatingly still. Men in tailored suits sit around a massive oak table, staring at him like vultures circling prey. One banker leans forward, folding his hands together like a priest delivering bad news. Mr. Trump, he says slowly, deliberately, you're asking us to finance one of the most expensive developments in New York history. In this economy? With your track record? A murmur of agreement ripples through the room. For a split second, doubt flickers across our protagonist's face, but then it vanishes, replaced by something colder, harder. Confidence. Belief. Instinct. He leans back in his chair, letting silence stretch taut between them. Then, without warning, he slams both palms onto the table. The sound makes everyone jump. Let me tell you something, he begins, his voice low and steady, cutting through the tension like a blade. I'm not just building a building. I'm creating a symbol. A monument to what's possible when you refuse to settle for mediocrity. Do you think anyone believed Rockefeller could build his center during the Great Depression? Or that Chrysler would dare put his name on the tallest tower in the world? But they did it anyway. Because visionaries don't wait for permission. They make people believe. The room falls silent again. This time, though, the energy shifts. Doubt starts to crack. Curiosity seeps in. Someone clears their throat nervously. Another scribbles notes furiously. Slowly, ever so slightly, the tide begins to turn. Back to present, the skyscraper. Rain drips from his hair as he stares down at the city below. That meeting wasn't just about money, it was about control. About leverage. About storytelling. Deals aren't won with facts alone, they're won with emotion. Conviction. Theater. He remembers another lesson learned years earlier, long before skyscrapers and billion-dollar deals. It was a small apartment renovation project in Brooklyn, his first taste of real estate. Back then he didn't have wealth or connections. All he had was hustle and guts. Flashback, Brooklyn apartment renovation. Younger now, scrappier, he walks into a dilapidated brownstone. Peeling wallpaper hangs in strips, the floors creak underfoot, and the smell of mildew fills the air. Most people would see ruin. He sees potential. How much? He asks the owner, trying to keep his voice steady despite the nerves clawing at his chest. $50,000, comes the reply. $50,000 might as well be $5 million. He has neither. But instead of walking away, he nods confidently. I'll give you 60. The owner blinks, caught off guard. 60? "You serious?" "Dead serious," he replies, lying through his teeth. Inside, his heart pounds like a drum. Outside, he's cool as ice. 2 weeks later, after relentless haggling and creative financing, he closes the deal for $45,000. Present day, the skyscraper. That early victory taught him something invaluable. Perception is reality. If you act like you already own the prize, others will start believing it too. It's psychology, strategy, artistry. But success isn't linear. For every triumph, there's a setback waiting in the wings. Like Atlantic City, the casinos, the debts spiraling out of control, nights spent staring at ceilings, wondering if the house of cards would collapse. Yet even in failure, there's opportunity, lessons learned, resilience forged. You adapt, evolve, come back stronger. He steps closer to the edge of the balcony, gripping the railing tighter. The storm shows no signs of letting up, but neither does he. Winning isn't luck, he whispers to himself, almost smiling now. It's preparation, instinct, knowing when to hold your ground and when to walk away. Most people fold too soon. They let fear dictate their moves. I play to win. Always. Behind him, headlights pierce through the rain as a black car pulls up to the base of the building. Doors open. Figures emerge, holding umbrellas. Bankers, lawyers, allies, enemies. Doesn't matter. They've come to him. As they ascend the elevator, he straightens his tie, wipes water from his face, and exhales deeply. Whatever happens next, one thing is certain: he'll leave this night either victorious or ready to fight another day. Because the game never truly ends. It evolves, expands, demands more. And he wouldn't have it any other way. The elevator doors slide open with a soft chime, an almost comical contrast to the chaos outside. The bankers step out, their polished shoes squeaking faintly on wet concrete. They're hesitant, unsure, like men walking into a lion's den. And in a way, they are. He doesn't turn around immediately. Instead, he keeps his back to them, letting the moment stretch, letting the tension build. Power isn't just taken, it's felt. Finally, he speaks without looking at them. "You're late." One of the bankers clears his throat nervously. "Traffic was bad, Mr. Trump." Excuse me?" His voice cuts through the air like a whip. He turns now, his eyes locking onto theirs. "Do I look like someone who cares about traffic? You had one job: show up on time. Respect my time. If you can't do that, why should I trust you with anything else?" Silence. The group shifts uncomfortably, exchanging glances. But beneath their unease lies something else, a flicker of admiration. Respect for strength, even if it's intimidating. People may resent boldness, but they respect it. "Boys." He gestures toward the skeletal structure behind him. This isn't just steel and glass. This is vision, ambition, a statement. Do you know what happens when people see ambition like this? They want in. They crave it. But only if they believe in you. So tell me, do you believe? Another pause. Then, finally, the lead banker nods. "We do." "Good." He smiles, sharp and predatory. "Because tonight, we're not just closing a deal. We're rewriting the rules." Cut to flashback, the Commodore Hotel. Years earlier, he stood in front of another crumbling building, not unfinished, but decaying. The Commodore Hotel, once a jewel of Grand Central Terminal, had become a symbol of New York's decline. Rats scurried through its halls. Paint peeled from its walls. Most developers wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. But he saw something different. Opportunity disguised as ruin. The city was desperate for revitalization. Landlords were bleeding money. Politicians were paralyzed by bureaucracy. And yet, amid all the chaos, there was clarity. Clarity that came from instinct. From trusting yourself more than anyone else. "I'll take it," he told the owners, his tone leaving no room for negotiation. Not because he had endless funds, he didn't, but because he knew how to sell a dream. To banks. To partners. To the public. And so began the transformation. Renaming it the Grand Hyatt. Partnering with Hilton. Convincing the city to grant tax breaks. Each step was risky, each decision calculated. Critics called it reckless, unfeasible, impossible. But impossible is just another word for opportunity waiting to be seized. Back to present, the skyscraper. The meeting unfolds quickly now, efficient and precise. Papers are signed, terms agreed upon. By the time the last banker shakes his hand, dawn is breaking over the horizon. The storm has passed, leaving behind a city glistening with newfound promise. As the others leave, he lingers, watching the first rays of sunlight bathe Manhattan in gold. For a moment, he allows himself to feel it, not just pride, but relief, satisfaction. The kind that comes from knowing you've outlasted the doubters, outmaneuvered the skeptics, and turned chaos into order. But the feeling doesn't last long, because success isn't static. It's fleeting. Tomorrow will bring new challenges, new rivals, new battles to fight. That's the cost of ambition, the price of greatness. Cut to inner monologue. They think it's about money, about power, but it's not. It's about legacy, about proving to yourself, to the world, that you can rise higher than anyone thought possible, that you can build empires where others see rubble, create beauty where others see decay. It's lonely, sure. The higher you climb, the fewer allies you have. Friends become competitors. Family becomes distant. Every decision carries weight, every failure echoes louder. But that's the trade-off. You don't get to change the skyline without changing yourself. And maybe that's the real art of the deal. Not just convincing others, it's convincing yourself. Believing in your vision so fiercely that nothing, not fear, not failure, not even logic, can stand in your way. Final scene. The edge of the balcony. He steps back onto the balcony, now bathed in morning light. Below him, the city awakens. Cars honk. Pedestrians hurry. Life moves forward, relentless and unstoppable. He pulls out a cigar, lights it, and takes a deep drag. Smoke curls lazily into the air as he exhales, staring out at the horizon. There's no triumph in his expression, no arrogance. Just focus, determination, hunger. Because the game never ends. Deals lead to bigger deals. Skyscrapers give rise to taller ones. And every victory plants the seed for the next challenge. Behind him, the sound of construction begins again. The clanging of metal, the hum of machinery. A symphony of progress, of ambition made manifest. He smiles faintly, almost imperceptibly. Let's see what tomorrow brings. Feel like you're meant for more, but don't know how to get there? You're not alone. Every success story starts with doubt and a spark. The Self-Made Millionaire, Zero to Wealth isn't just a book. It's your roadmap to purpose, confidence, and success, built on real lessons from real millionaires. One reader said, "It didn't feel like a book. It felt like my future talking to me." Inside, you'll find the exact mindset and principles used by the world's most successful people. No fluff, just real, life-changing wisdom. Ready to take the first step? Get it 100% free. Just subscribe and comment book below.